Welcome to How to Train AI to Write Blog Posts Like You, even if you're not techie or don't know where to start. Hi, I'm Andrea, and I've been using ChatGPT for over 2 years now to help me in just about every part of my business, from creating content and automating tasks to even growing my email list. And it's become a regular part of how I get things done. And so if you're like me and you don't have an assistant or someone to help you in your business, you know setting up systems and streamlining your processes are a must. And ChatGPT has helped me with that, especially when it comes to writing blog posts. It's something that I actually used to hate doing, but now it's actually not as bad because I have a trained assistant that helps me get things done much quicker. So today I'm going to show you how you can train AI to write blog posts that sound like you and are personalized to your audience, so you can finally start publishing more consistently without having it taking so much time and energy. So you're in the right place if you're spending way too much time on your blog posts, either writing them yourself or trying to get AI to write something usable. You're tired of having to explain what your blog is about, who your audience is, and how you want things to sound every single time you want the AI to help you write your blog post. And you feel like AI could be helpful, and you've even seen other people get great results, but some days it feels like it would have just been faster and less stressful to write the blog post yourself. Imagine if you could publish blog posts more consistently without having it take so much time and energy. Use AI to write blog posts that actually sound like you and are tailored to your audience. Have a simple workflow for using AI that's easy to set up and makes the process of writing blog posts quicker and less stressful. Now, are you ready to learn one of the easiest and most effective ways you can use AI to save you time and help you consistently publish blog posts that sound like you and are personalized to your audience? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to cover today. So here's what we're going to talk about. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the key details the AI needs to write blog posts that sound like you. Then I'll show you how to train AI to be your personalized blog assistant. And then we're going to talk about 3 common mistakes people make that keep their AI blog assistant from working the way it's supposed to and how to avoid them. Then I'll give you a behind the scenes look at how I use my own AI blog assistant to help me write blog posts, and you will be amazed at how easy and quick it is. All right, so let's get started with the key details the AI needs to write blog posts that sound like you. And I have to tell you, it's not about the prompt. Better prompts are not the answer. The key is in the context, the details that help the AI understand what you're actually trying to say or do. And no matter how amazing or perfect your prompt is, if AI doesn't understand your situation, it's just going to guess at the details, and you're going to end up with a response that is generic and disappointing. So think of it this way. If you ask someone to write a blog post for you, would you say, "Write a blog post for me"? Or would you spend time telling them what your blog post is about, who it's for, what details should be included, and even how you want it to sound? Well, that's the same with the AI. It needs those details in order to write blog posts that sound like you. Let's talk about the 4 key details you need to share with the AI if you want it to write blog posts that sound like you. The first is details about your blog, what your blog is about, your topic, your focus, your niche, your audience. Who's reading your blog, what they care about, what they're looking for, your writing style. For example, your tone, your voice, your favorite phrases, how you talk to your audience, and the structure, how you like your blog posts structured or organized. Do you follow a certain flow? Do you keep them short or long? Now that you understand the details the AI needs, let's talk about how you can actually use this information to train it so it remembers these details and can start writing blog posts like a true assistant. Now, when I started using ChatGPT to help me write blog posts, I thought it would make things so much easier for me. But most days, it felt like more work than help. And tell me if you can relate to this. In order for the AI to actually write something you can use, I found myself constantly having to paste the same information or attaching files with all of the details every single time, constantly having to explain the same things over and over, like who my audience was, how I wanted to write the post, and how I wanted it to sound. Wasting time reminding the AI because it forgot or it just didn't understand. And having to re-explain everything again anytime you start a new conversation with the AI. It can be frustrating and super time-consuming, defeating the whole purpose of using AI for help in the first place. I knew there had to be an easier and better way. So I did some experimenting and realized that I could train AI once with all the details it needs, no more pasting the details or attaching files. And since it would already have all of the details, There would be no need to constantly explain the same things over and over again. And because it's trained on what it needs to know, there's no more wasted time reminding it what to do, because it knows what to do and how to do it. So there's no more starting from scratch. So how do you actually train AI to be your assistant and make everything I just showed you possible? Well, there are lots of ways out there, but what I did was I created a project in ChatGPT with all of the details about my blog, my writing style, and the structure I wanted it to use when writing blog posts for me. And I call it my AI blog assistant. And I had to tell you, the results were amazing. But what's even better is that it doesn't require any technical skills or coding to set it up. And for those of you that prefer Claude, you can also create your AI blog assistant in Claude. Or another option, if you prefer custom GPTs, you can actually create a custom GPT that's trained on your blog. And as you can see, I have actually done all three of them. I personally prefer a project because it keeps all of my conversations in one place. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to set each of them up. So let's start with Claude. All right, so here I am in Claude, and it's actually super simple to set up a project. What you do is you go into the project section and then you click on New Project here. And then what you want to do is you want to name your project, and you can give it any name you want if you want to call it AI Blog Assistant or whatever name you want. I'm just going to call it AI Blog Assistant. And then you want to put here what you're trying to achieve. This is basically what your project is about. And you can leave this blank if you want, but what I just put here is write blog posts. And then you want to click here to create your project. All right, so that's how we create the initial skeleton of the project. Now what you need to do in order to train it to be your AI blog assistant is you need to provide it with details. So how well your assistant performs depends on two main things. One is the context. Now this is the background information you give it so it understands who you are, what your blog is about, who you're writing for, your writing style, and how you want your blog post structured. And you would do that with the knowledge files. You would create files with details with that information in it, and then you can upload those files. So how you do that is you go into Project Knowledge here, and you click on this plus button. And then you would upload your files, whether it's from your device or Google Drive or wherever you want to upload them from. So that's the first part. The second part is the instructions. Now, your instructions are the foundation of how your AI blog assistant works. It tells it what you want it to do and how you want it to do it. And the more clear and specific you are, the more helpful your assistant's going to be. So you want to click right here to set project instructions. And then here you want to tell your blog assistant what you want it to do. And then once you're finished with the instructions, you just click Save Instructions. So as you can see, the steps are really straightforward and it's actually a really easy process. Let's go to ChatGPT and I'll show you how to set up a project there. All right, so here we are in ChatGPT, and what you want to do is come over to the left sidebar here where you see the word projects, and you want to click on this plus here to create a new project. And then from here, you'll give your project a name. I actually already have a project named AI Blog Assistant, so I'm just going to name this one Blog Assistant. And then I'm going to click here to create project. Okay, so we gave our blog assistant a name. And so if you'll notice, this is just like projects where we have the files and the instructions. So what you want to do is you want to add the files. Now remember, this is the background information. You give it so it understands who you are, what your blog is about, who you're writing for, and how you write your blog posts. And you'll want to upload files here. You can just click here to add the files. And then once you're done, you'll click on the X. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to add your instructions. So you would click on this Add Instructions here. These are the instructions of what your AI blog assistant should do and how it should do it. And remember, the more clear and specific you are, the more helpful your assistant is going to be. Once you've added your instructions, you can just click Save here, and it will save the instructions that you added to it. And that's really it. It's actually super simple to set up a project in ChatGPT. It's only a few steps, but the critical part is getting the files and the instructions correct. So for those of you that prefer custom GPT, let me show you the process for that. You want to go up to the top right where your profile is and click on it, and then click on My GPTs, and then you want to click Create a GPT. You want to make sure you're in the Configure tab. You can use the Create tab if you want the AI to walk you through it. Although I will tell you, I don't really get great results with this, but if you're just starting out, it can be a good starting point for you. So let's go back to the Configure tab. And the first thing you want to do is give your custom GPT a name. So I'm going to call it the AI Blog Assistant. And then here you can put a description in. This just lets you know what the GPT is about. So I'm just going to put Write Blog Post. And then we have the instructions, and these are the instructions for your blog assistant. And remember, you want to tell it what to do and how to do it. You can add in a conversation starter if you want. Typically, if I'm creating a GPT for myself, I don't add a conversation starter. But if it's something that you want to do, you can add that. And then here we have the knowledge files. And just like the projects where we uploaded files, that's what you want to do here. You want to provide the AI with background information so it understands details about your blog, who you're writing for, and your writing style. And then you can choose what capabilities you want your custom GPT to have. But if you notice, it's actually a super straightforward process, just like creating a project. But I have to tell you, there are 3 main mistakes you can make that can be the difference between your AI blog assistant working the way you want and something else that wastes your time. So let's talk about them. Now, the first mistake is giving it too many jobs. Projects and custom GPTs work best when they have a clear focus. So you want to train it for one specific purpose, because the more jobs you give it, the less focused and useful it becomes. Mistake number 2 is not having clear instructions. So you want to provide it with detailed instructions on what you want it to do and how to do it. But here's the problem. If the instructions are too vague or general, you'll get generic, off-topic responses. But on the other hand, if the instructions are too complicated or you over-explain things, that can lead to the AI getting confused on what it's supposed to do. Mistake number 3 is too much or too little context. You want to provide the AI with relevant details and knowledge so it understands your blog, your audience, your writing style, and how you want your blog structured. But here's where it can go wrong. If you share too much information or context that isn't directly relevant to what it needs, the AI can get overwhelmed and confused on what to focus on. But if you don't have enough details or you're missing context, the AI won't have enough information for it to be helpful. So now that you know the key details the AI needs, the options for training your AI, whether you use ChatGPT or Claude, and the 3 mistakes to avoid, let me give you a behind-the-scenes look at my AI blog assistant. And I actually have it set up in both Claude and GPT. And the reason I do this is if I hit my usage limits with one, I always have the other one that I can use. So let's go to ChatGPT and I'll show you how it works. All right, so here we are in ChatGPT, and I'm going to click on my AI blog assistant. Now, this is the one we just created, so we're not going to click on that. I'm going to click on the one I created a while ago. Now, one of the things I love about projects is it lists all of the chats that I've had with that project right below it. So anytime I want to reference anything, it's all there for me. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that my blog is about the carnivore diet. As you could probably tell from the chats that I have here, they're all about the carnivore diet. Let me show you how easy it is to write blog posts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to give me 5 ideas for blog posts. Now, if you notice, I didn't have to tell it about my audience or any of the details of what I wanted because I already have that in the instructions. And it says these blog posts are specifically for Simply Carnivore, designed to resonate with my reader. So it's accessing the information about my reader and it's making sure it's aligned with my blog's mission and style. And notice how it gives me the value proposition and target keywords. Told it that in the instructions, that when it gives me ideas for blog posts, that I always want a value proposition and keywords. And so from here, what it says is, would you like me to turn one of these into a full outline or draft next? So it already anticipates what I want based on the instructions that I've given it. So I'm just going to say outline for idea 5. And then what it's going to do is it's going to access the files that I've given it about how I want my blog post outlined, and it's going to create an outline for me. And if you notice, it gives me the introduction, and then all of the sections here. And what it's doing is it's using the details from the file I gave it about how I want my blog structured to structure it the way I want. And then we have a conclusion. It says, would you like me to draft the full blog post from this outline? I'm going to say yes. And then here's my full blog post. And if you notice, it doesn't really sound robotic. You went all in on carnivore, cut the carbs, loaded up on steak, and the weight melted off until it didn't. Now, if the scales stop moving and your clothes aren't getting looser, don't panic. Weight loss plateaus are normal, but they're also solvable. And it says you're not broken. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just missing 1 or 2 key adjustments that can get things moving again. Let's break it down. So it did a really good job of getting everything written for me. This is a really great draft for you to start with. And Actually, it's really good if you just want to post it. But if you want to add something more personal to your blog post, you can do that and have the AI help you. But even when I spend time making minor corrections, I still get my blog posts done like 10 times faster than if I had tried writing them myself, or if I tried the old way of using ChatGPT and trying to explain everything again and again. You can see that having your AI blog assistant is kind of like creating an efficient, structured workflow that helps you stay organized and help you publish more consistently. And just so you know, when I use my Claude project or my custom GPT, it actually works the same way because I have these same instructions as I do in this one. So if you notice, when I used my AI blog assistant, you saw how it already knew all of my blog's focus and who my audience was. It understood my writing style without me having to explain how I write. And it created blog posts really quickly, so I can just get it done and ready to publish. And I will tell you that your AI blog assistant can do more than just the basics of what I showed you. It can also research trends. Now that ChatGPT and Claude can access the internet, you can ask it to research trends in your niche. You can explore different angles. And what I mean by that is if you want to make a familiar topic more interesting, you can ask it to help you think through different angles or hooks. You can even turn a transcript into a blog post or even 2 or 3 blog posts. So if you have a transcript of a podcast, a workshop, or even voice notes, you can ask the AI to turn that into a blog post for you. You can summarize your blog post. So after you write the blog post, you can ask it to write a summary or clear takeaways. You can ask it to create a table of contents. If you have a really long blog post, it's helpful to have a table of contents that you put at the top of your blog post, making it easy for people to see what the blog post is all about. And typically that's something that would take a really long time to do, trying to go through the blog post and pull out the key things for the table of contents. But the AI can do that in a matter of seconds. These are just a few ways your AI blog assistant can help you. You can ask it to help you with anything from idea generation to promotion. It can support your entire blogging workflow. Imagine having your own personalized blog assistant that already knows your blog's focus, who your audience is, so you don't have to keep explaining the same details over and over. It understands your writing style, so your content actually sounds like you, not like it was written by a robot. It helps you get your blog post outlined and drafted in less time because it already has the background information it needs. And best of all, you have a streamlined workflow for writing blog posts, so you can publish more consistently. I just want to thank you for joining me for this workshop. If you have any questions, you can contact me at hello@aiwithandrea.com, and I will get back to you personally.